Hey viewers, today we'll be taking a look at the Koenigsegg Jesko at 2 stars, which is actually a car I obtained completely on accident. I bought the key packs as a joke, but it turns out I got the key on my first drop and the jackpot on my last drop, and they're all on the same pack. Now, this I'll be showing the car at 2 stars, which it doesn't have purple guys as I took it off, and I honestly don't really like the way purple guys really looked on this card, but that was a different type of purple guys. It wasn't actually the one I put on all of my cars, and it was a bit inaccurate. But anyway, I will be 3-starring this car very soon, so you should be expecting a 3-star video after this. And I did leave speed at 1 star since I think the car is just so fast that there isn't really a point to upgrade the top speed at this high rate, or it is high for speed. And as you can see at the beginning of this video, it's not the king that people think it is. Like, especially at lower stars, it still takes a ton of effort to drive because it's just very unpredictable, as you can see here. It's just the car is so floaty that it tends to suffer from physics issues, and you can be able to see that later in the video where I will almost have a loss in Osaka because of them. Now, even as you see here, as my car starts getting up to speed and rocketing past cars, I still can't pass this Runak because I just wasn't able to keep up with it at the beginning. And that's just genuinely the playstyle of this car at low stars. It's just, you have to hope that you get up to the point of the track where you get a very high top speed, because otherwise you'll be suffering from not being able to accelerate. Since this car, it does, and yeah, you can see here, it almost wrecked and almost fall out of the track. This will also happen again with wall climbing. Anyway, this car, it's kind of like a Tryon at 2 stars, but with much worse acceleration and slightly better drifting at the cost of, I think, worse floatiness. The thing is this car's nitro is a lot weaker than the Tryons, and I don't mean that, I mean that as an actual nitro power. This car's shockwaves are not shockwave to the high enough speed compared to the Tryon. And you can see there, I barely saved myself from a wall climb, and now I have to deal with this player GC. Now, it sounds like I'm very unhappy about this car, but honestly, I am very happy that I have on this car, as even for how difficult it is to ride, it's very fun and very rewarding. And I am looking forward to 3-starring this game, as it's just so fun to ride, you know, apart from being difficult, as I said like 7 seconds ago. And from this point onwards in multiplayer, I exclusively used the Jesko, and I think I got myself all the way up to position 125 as of the time I'm recording this. Now, as you've been paying attention, or if you haven't, you can tell that we're kind of in a low point in Asphalt event cycle, as I think they're gonna actually need more time to work on the next update, and they said themselves that 2021 was not a very satisfactory year for them, as I almost get landmined. Here I actually struggled against a Sheeran, despite Put On Rise being a very speed and floaty oriented track. Anyway, as you could, we just had the Batista event, which, as my suspensions were, this is a very pay-to-win event, and they attempted to hide it, which is shameful. And especially for a car like the Batista, which they knew people will want to get, so they decided to make the event super pay-to-win. As in, you will need a 6-star Rimac and 6-star Tuatara, which are better cars than the Batista. So I don't really know what they were thinking, but, you know, maybe a car of stick if you have him already. Next up, we're having Drive Syndicate 4, and suspicions say that it is a dual Drive Syndicate update. We will have one Drive Syndicate featuring the Devel 16, the mid variant of it, not the 5,000 horsepower variant, the 2001, which will do 285 miles per hour at stop, which means this is one 300 miles per hour car, and we just got one which is a 201 megawatt, which went 301 miles per hour. And the other car of the Drive Syndicate, the other Drive Syndicate, is the Arash AF10 Hybrid, the 2016 variant, which means this car will go 299 miles per hour, and as you could probably tell from Asphalt 8, I don't really have high hope for the Arash, as in Asphalt 8 it was not very good at all. And I think in Asphalt 9 it will probably be similar to it, the old game, where the acceleration won't be awesome, it will just be like average, and the drifting, I think the drifting will also be average. I think it will just be an overall very average car. So I don't expect it to be a king in any extent of the road. And the Devel 16, I think it will be very acceleration focused car at the cost of not being able to drift very well as in Asphalt 8. Well, I almost wrecked there and almost lost the win. Anyway, in Asphalt 8, the Devel 16 did not handle very well, but it did have, I'd say average nitro, and the top speed was very good. I think it had like, it can do 360 miles per hour with the tuning kit at just max without pro kits. So I'd say that it might go 310 miles per hour, maybe 308, maybe some 300 miles per hour speed, as it's a 300 miles per hour car at stock and use nitro. So this means we're having 300 miles per hour cars in the span of, I think, 3 months. I don't know. I am very stupid, as you can tell. Anyway, next up we're also having some special event cars. I think the ones we've seen are the Celine S1, which is, I'd say would be a Class C car, more agile oriented car, as it's 180 miles per hour. Even that would be a very high-end Class B car, but I have my plans on it being a Class C car. And we're also getting a Class B car, which is the Ital Design Nissan GTR 50 concept. I don't exactly know what the name is. It's a joint operation, that's what I know. Anyway, I suspect it would be a B-Class car. Stats very similar to the GTR Nismo, as it generally is just a slightly more powerful version. And here we're going up against a 6-star Jesko. So back to the GTR 50. I have my plans on it being a Class B car. It does 205 miles per hour, and it's slightly more powerful than the GTR Nismo. So that means it will be more like a, I'd say, an acceleration focused agile car. Because I don't think it will be a low-end car. I think they learned from the Zeruno incident. Even though the Zeruno is still a good car, even if you use multiplayer, it's still good in raw force and I don't think it will last very well for Platinum, as it's just too slow. But that isn't the car we're talking about. And I think Drive Syndicate 4, I think the storylines will be like more like a bridge type of event with, I'd say, actually I don't think the Drive Syndicate 2 avatar will come back, but I think Blue Rabbit might come back. I don't really care about the Drive Syndicate storyline, it's just gotten some really stupid once the Drive Syndicate 3 came on. You know, just like the game. And as we come up to the end of this second to last race, I fail on a floaty because I'm stupid. I'd like to give my general thoughts on this car. I'd say it's obviously, it was a former king, so it deserves a ton of respect for that. Especially for being able to stay, like, very, very relevant even today, when it's been succeeded twice, and will be succeeded a 4th time because of the the Roche AF10 and the Devel 16. So this is a quite outdated car, so I don't really think it gets you any like top usable times, although I think it still is the second or third, tied for second actually. I think it's a tied for second best car in the game along with the SSD Tuner. So it's definitely not gonna let you down if you do get this car, as I went a little too wide in this movie. It is quite still like very expensive to get up to 6 stars if you didn't. I think someone I talked to in the Turbo Team Discord, I think they spent like 43,000 tokens to go from nothing to 6 star and get the key. So I got the key myself in 1,200 tokens, so your luck obviously won't be similar to mine, because I'm for some reason super lucky, unlike in real life. So yeah, this car is really fun, it's great drifting, actually his acceleration's alright, speed is very good and it's very flowy. So I'd like to thank you for watching this video, I really hope you enjoyed, and maybe leave a like, subscribe, comment, or join my Discord, and I hope to see you in my next one. Goodbye.